Hello everyone, welcome back to another appointment with Moving To. This is Rossella from Going Expat, and today our guest is Itzel. Hi Itzel.
How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very good. Yesterday was my birthday.
Oh,
So
happy
it has been
birthday
the
then.
first, yes, it has been the first time here celebrating. So it was quite special.
That's nice. That's nice. So, yes, the first birthday in the Netherlands because you live in Rotterdam, as I do, and you come from Mexico, which is basically the topic of today, how to move to the Netherlands coming from a non-European country, specifically Mexico. So Itzel is gonna just guide us through her experience, and I always like to underline that whatever we are saying today is about her experience. Things can be slightly different if you're coming from another countries. Anyway, in the description, there are going to be the links to the official website in the Netherlands to know what to do if you want to move from another country to here. Okay, Hitzel, how long have you been in the Netherlands?
So I have been here since last December. So
Okay.
it has been a little bit crazy, our story, because we decided to move to Europe. But
Mm-hmm.
our idea was just to go to Valencia to live. But then Rotterdam was really telling us, stay here. So we have been here formally, I think that just like five months ago. So
Okay.
so because like we moved from Mexico to Rotterdam, we stay here 2 months. Then we lived in Valencia 3 months, and is when we decide to come back here.
To come
So
back to
like,
Rotterdam.
yeah, we really like this city.
Yes, I completely understand the feeling. So you are not telling me anything new. And you are talking about a we because, of course, you move with your boyfriend, who is Dutch, by the way.
Correct. Yes, he's
Okay.
from Rotterdam. He was telling me many times that it was a very lovely city. I couldn't believe him, but then like I was here, and I think that this city has also a very unique and magical like environment.
Yes, I agree. I always say to people that when they come to Rotterdam, they kind of have to forget a little bit about our idea of the Netherlands and just embrace what Rotterdam can give because it's kind of magic. It's different.
Yes, yes, and still like there's like some places that they are very old.
Yes.
Like example, like Delfshaven, that is so beautiful, or the Oudhaven. But well, like I think that
Yes,
everyone is really welcome to come here and to really visit it.
totally, totally. I always say that Rotterdam must be insane when coming to the Netherlands. Anyway, so let's go back to your story. Then you moved from Mexico to Europe and you have been for a while between Spain and the Netherlands. How
Correct.
was the process for you as a Mexican citizen to move to Europe?
Yeah, so I'm Mexican, but my mother is Italian. So I have like both passports. So as soon as I arrive here to Europe, I just forget that I have a Mexican passport. I can really do well. I can apply, and sometimes it's easier to do some documents here in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
But living in Valencia for me was so difficult. I don't
Okay.
know if there's a lot of Italians and Europeans that they want to live there, that
Mm-hmm.
all the bureaucracy like system is quite intense. So sometimes like to go to do a special document, I needed to be in the line at 5 a.m. and because like it was impossible on internet.
Okay.
So it's when we really decide to little by little thinking twice if we wanted to stay there. Because
Mm-hmm.
obviously, like when you go abroad, you want to change your life and to have a better quality life, right?
Of
And I
course.
think that I don't know if Valencia, like I know that many people are so happy with Valencia, but for me and for my boyfriend, it wasn't the time and it wasn't the city. So
Okay.
like also looking for a job, it was so difficult, even if I studied international business and trade. So I think that with these studies, I can work worldwide, because what we need is just some logistics and just English. And I had that. So, and also like then I was thinking that Rotterdam, well, has one of the biggest ports. I think
It's
that
the first in Europe. Yeah.
yeah, probably it's not the best choice right now, Valencia. And also like for me, it was a little bit a subject, the salary. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
they are quite low. And I said like, well, but how I'm going to Netherlands, how I'm going to Mexico? Like now I think that yeah, little by little Spain is getting a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Uh,
Yeah, things are changing in the cost of living too. Of course, I mean, the Netherlands is not cheap to live in, but it is true that salaries, in generally speaking, are adapted to the cost of life. If I'm not wrong, in July we got as the country, the Netherlands, basically increased the salary the most in all Europe. So
oh, okay,
yes,
okay.
the basic
Yeah, like
salary because we have a minimum wage. So that's
we live in Yora's mom, so it's like a house that is quite big. So we have our
Mhm.
space, and she has also her space.
Okay.
And what we did is that she just needed to do like a form,
Yes.
that it was so easy. Like I think that we got the also the appointment like less than 1 week. And then
Hmm.
we needed to present like the documents, that it was this form, my birthday date, and
Hmm.
also my passport, and that's it. Like
Yeah.
just it was quite it was going with the flow, I think.
Yes, and the form you're talking about is a form that it can be downloaded by the website of the municipality. So in your case, Gemeente Rotterdam, where the person who own the apartment where you are living just say, yes, I'm gonna allow these people to live in my apartment. If there is a contract, of course, then you need a contract. In this case, no, it's just family reunion, let's say. So
Correct.
you could use your Italian passport. You didn't have to go through the visa process then.
Correct. Yeah, because I have many friends that, well, they have the Mexican passport, but they have a
Mhm.
European boyfriend. That is like
Okay.
another world. But my case, it was just presenting the certification that it says that yes, I was born in Mexico, but I have the passport, and all this certification needs to be in different languages.
Mhm. Yes, there
So
are just a few languages that are allowed, I guess. English, of course, yeah, Dutch and French.
yes. So
Okay.
just with that, like it was so easy. And
Mhm.
after that, like I think that I was applying for a job, and in 2 weeks I had like some offers, and that's it. When we were living in Valencia, we were so concerned about many things. I don't know, like it was a lot of things mentally.
Okay.
I wasn't like in balance.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Okay.
think that for me, that Rotterdam has been like a just like a breath, like
Mm-hmm.
where I can really feel that everything is going as we supposed.
Yeah. And this is the first time that you moved to live in Europe.
No, well, the first time that I came here to live in Europe, it was 7 years ago. That's why I met my boyfriend when
Oh, okay.
yes, but I was studying in Lyon, like just a semester there. So
Okay, okay.
for me, I think that also since I'm little, I have really told myself that my destination was
Was
Europe.
you-
and
Okay.
and then like finding some notebooks about me, obviously. I put that I wanted to live in Netherlands. Always talking about Nanje and Van Gogh also. So I think that little by little I knew where was my destiny.
Your destination. Okay, so you made it. That's great.
Yes, yes, yes,
And
yes.
what do you miss from home? Well, recently has been celebrated El Día de los Muertos, and
Yeah.
I saw on your Instagram some videos and photos. I guess this part of the culture is something that you miss the most from your native country.
I'm going to be very honest. Right now, I don't miss too much. Why?
Okay.
Because I think that is important when you go abroad is to really live on the present. Because obviously you cannot compare the tacos that they are offering in the corner of my house in Mexico than the ones that they sell here. So I think that right now I feel very satisfied and also happy where I'm where I am right now.
Okay.
And like I was also they asked me this like, but you don't miss the colors, you don't miss the party, you don't miss. And I told them like, well, for me, these colors of autumn, like
Mhm.
that I see everything with orange, and it's also are also colors for me that they
Yeah.
are that I don't see in Mexico. Like just we have very cold weather and very warm weather, but I don't see little by little how to appreciate more the seasons.
The half seasons, yeah. I
So,
get that.
but right now, probably a little bit more of sun, but well, I cannot have everything in just one
Of
country.
course. Going back for a second to the most bureaucratic part, you say, okay, for you, of course, was easier also because you hold an European passport. Do you know about your friends, for example, who don't have a European passport? How was for them if they had to paying a lot of money, for example, for the visa, if the visa process was long? What can you tell, if you can, about that?
Yes, like what I know is that it's very complicated for them, just because here exists like a test that you need to do. I
Mhm.
think that is after 2 years or five,
Okay.
but in Burgen, and they need to learn obviously the language.
The
So
language.
like most of them, they are so stressed on that because well, now that I'm me on like on some lessons, like it's not extremely hard, but there's some words that I cannot really well
Pronounce.
pronounce anymore. So, but I think that it's just time. It's just time, and like sometimes I think that we are a little bit like we want things so fast, but I think that just with the time is going to really tell you if you well like that you are going to feel better, right?
Yeah, it's nice to hear from people that are they experience from people that are coming from far away, because it is true that in Europe we are all different because our cultures within the European area are very
Yeah.
different, but there are things that are not that different anyway. They are quite similar. We already maybe know a lot or enough about one country or the other. In 2 or 3 hours, we can fly back home. If we
Yeah.
need a break for a weekend or something like that. Coming
Yeah.
from so far, of course, is different. Culture
Yeah.
is completely another. I bet that having a boyfriend from that country helps you to understand the process and the
Yeah.
way, but you are not 2 hours away from home. So,
Yeah, yeah, that is true. Like, well, just coming back a little bit about the documents and all these
yes,
problems, my friends, I know like two things that also for them they are a little bit concerned is that if you have a partner that is here from Europe, the humanity or the government or the system
yes,
is they really ask for photos or for videos or for like for the like to really prove that they are a couple.
yeah.
So that like for them is well, it could be a little like a very sensitive subject because it's like, well, like are my photos, but I can understand also the position of the government, right?
That they want to make sure this
And
is
the
real.
other yeah, and the other thing is the driver license. Because
Mm,
even me, that I have the Mexican driver license from Mexico, is just
mhm.
valid some couple of months. And after that, I need to again to apply for it. for me, I don't have any problem because I was telling a friend yesterday that there's like some signs that in Mexico they don't exist. Just like you need to apply for this exam
Okay.
for having the driver license if you are coming from Latin America. But if you are coming from Latin America with a working visa, they can just use what they have.
Oh,
So
okay. So if you have a working visa, you don't need to do the test
right,
for a new driving license from a Dutch driving license. But if you're
correct,
coming, for example, to reunite with your family, with the couple, or other reasons that are not work, then you to be able
correct,
to drive, you must have a Dutch
correct,
uh,
correct,
after a couple of
correct.
months.
So yeah, so like at the end, like they are not just well these document like they're of living, right? Like it's also the driver license and well and more stuff.
Understood. Last question. If you need to change your document, let's say that your ID expires or your passport expires, where do you go?
It's the embassy that I will go to Den Haag.
Okay, you
Yeah.
need to go to the embassy. Okay. And did you have to register in the embassy when you arrived?
I need to register, like I need to go and yes, and
Okay.
register that I'm
So you've
here.
taken appointment to the Mexican embassy.
Correct, but both, like the Mexican and also the Italian.
In your case, okay.
Yes, in my case, yes, because normally in Mexico I receive these forms if I want to vote in Italy. So now, little by little, I need to change everything here.
Okay. Is there anything else, Itzel, that you want to add before closing up our call?
Well, I think that everyone needs to really like live this experience. I think that for me, these almost 300 days, I can see that I have changed a lot. But well, always with my essence, but also like to really reconfirm where I want, right? That these are my goals right now. So if you want to come, just don't be afraid. And if you're afraid, well, come with all your fear.
Yes, I like it. It's beautiful, indeed. And be scared is part of human beings. It's normal. Nobody make such a big step without being a little bit scared of what is gonna happen. But that's also part of the beauty, of the excitement. I'm very happy to hear you so passionate about your life. And thank you again for taking the time to talk to me and to all of us. And I wish to say you so. Have a good evening.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank
Bye.
you, Louis.